and connecting, and then when they did connect, there wasn't magic that happened. And Kevin, I was like so, frustrated. I'm like, I don't understand. How can you have so many amazing people and magic doesn't happen? So I'm like, that's kind of weird. And then introduced some more legacy partners to Ed Kirch. And they went out to, breakfast together. And, the next week I said, hey, what'd you guys accomplish? And there was really nothing. And I'm like, that's so strange. How can you have such, amazing people connecting and they're not accomplishing something? So I asked, Ed and Jill and some of the others, and I said, so what's you guys' plan? And they said, we're going to go out to lunch. I'm like, well, if you didn't accomplish something at breakfast, what makes you think you're going to do something at lunch? Like, I don't understand. And this happened 3-4 times, and then I said, there's got to be a system for this. So I worked with a number of other people in the network and legacy partners, and they put together a system. The system's like 2-3 pages long, so it's very short, very simple. It's got instructions, read it, and then follow through and go through and do step 1, step 2, step 3. Very simple. So Kevin, now people, these top-level people, they now have instructions on how to go ahead and, develop profitable partnerships. And Kevin, what do you think happened?
They jumped on it and it happened. No, you know what? They probably did nothing.
They what?
They probably did nothing.
Not even read it?
No, I don't know. I don't. I know that sounds weird. I'm going to say they didn't even read it.
So Kevin, like when you have spectacular, amazing people, like you're just like, these are amazing people. Like Ken Bucci, he's probably the smartest and humblest too. I mean, he won't say it, but I think he is smartest CPA on the whole East Coast. It's crazy. I mean, he goes to events, like CPA events, and the top speaker at the event, he goes up to the top presenter and says, hey, I have some questions on this and this. And the top, like one of the top speakers on the East Coast, doesn't know the answer to Ken's questions. I mean, so Kevin, help me understand, how can you have brilliant, successful, smart, disciplined, amazing people and they won't read something that takes 2-3 pages? I mean, what's up with that?
Maybe they don't think it's going to change their life. Maybe they don't think it's going to change their business. What do you think?
I don't know. So, Kevin's from the Chicago area, same as I. Hey, go Cubs, right, Kevin?
Amen.
And they have closers, right? I mean, they have somebody that'll pitch, 7 innings, and then they go ahead and bring in the closer. Why do they bring in the closer, Kevin?
Because they're fresh, they're ready to go. They haven't been pitching, for 5 or 6 innings.
I think we found our closer.
Who's your closer?
Danny, and he'll be jumping on in just a moment. Well, I'm going to let him jump on right now. Danny, have you joined us, buddy?
Yes.
And Rosanna's with Danny, too. So, Rosanna, did you want to kind of share what you and Danny are working on?
Well, Danny had to encourage people to read what?
The Legacy Partner White Paper.
And he called all the people that you talked about just a few minutes ago, and he called them each individually and asked them if they were going to read it. And what did they say?
Yes.
Why would they say yes, do you think?
Yes.
Because they could not turn down somebody that told them that they should read it if they were 5 years old. So Daniel, he was actually 4 when he called everybody because he had a birthday this week, called everybody and said, please read
Legacy Partner White Paper.
And what did they say?
Go to Rabbit.
I will read it. And then we called them back, and some of them didn't manage up and out, so he had to call them back and remind them again. And then what happened?
I don't know.
Well, I think what he did is he talked to a couple of them, and they actually managed up and out and then really did connect. And so they made a legacy partnership in the matter of a week from them talking to Daniel.
So, Kevin, there might be some business owners on that might go ahead and say, excuse me, is this a kindergarten? Is this a grade school, like preschool? Like, they might think, are you really joking? Like, is this serious business stuff?
Right.
Any ideas and input that you would give to people, Kevin?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Does Danny own his own business?
He does.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, that's even more amazing to me. Hey, Danny, love your brother. Hey, I think any business person jumping on right now and saying a 5-year-old owns her own business, listen, that's how good the structure is. If Danny can do it and he's awesome at it and he's an awesome closer, why not you?
See, this is what's Kevin, this is what's strange, and I don't know if Ken was serious or not, but, in the couple years, 2-3 years I've known Ken, they've had challenges in getting their business customers to turn in their paperwork. So, for their taxes and stuff, turn them in on time, and so then they've got to go ahead and call them. That's not good for the customer. It wastes their time. It's not good for, Bucci, and so it's not a good situation. And I don't know. I need to check with Ken, but he said, I think he was serious. He said, Mark, maybe we can get Danny to call our business customers and get them to go ahead. Maybe they'll be more responsive to Danny than they are to us. He says,
absolutely they would.
I was more responsive to Danny than I was you, Mark. And so any ideas, Kevin, what Danny's going to do?
He's going to call him. And you know what? Danny calling them, they're going to be chuckling to themselves. They're like, I don't believe I just got a call from Danny, who's 5 and owns his own business. You know what? Get the numbers together. Send it over to Bucci. It's funny to me because, listen, if you don't get your numbers in on time and they don't file on time, you get massive penalties from the IRS. And they play no favorites. They play for keeps. I mean, there's only 2 things that are sureties in life. One is taxes. You will pay at one point or another, and death. So, listen.
See, actually, he's not going to do that, Kevin.
He's not. Why not?
Well, he's a little bit more advanced than that.
Okay. What's Danny going to do?
Well, he's partnering up with the MVPnetwork.org.
Yeah.
And he's working with them to go ahead and figure out how he can clone himself.
Sweet.
So then what he'll do is he'll go ahead and figure out what he's doing, and then he'll put it into a system, and then he'll go ahead and create, a video that will go ahead and have the same effect. Because he's got, 2 twin sisters that are due any day now. And so he's the oldest. He's a 5-year-old. He's got a 3-year-old brother, and he's got twin sisters. He's got a lot going on in his life. He doesn't really have time to call all of Ken's clients, and then everybody else is going to want him to do it. So what he's doing is he's using technology to be able to clone himself.
So, Mark, let me ask you a question. If a 5-year-old who owns his own business, who has twin sisters on the way, and has to play Big Brother, because that's a big deal.
It is.
That's
it really
big
is.
Role.
Right, for sure. Oh, one of the other things he did is from the money he earned from doing this, he decided to take some part of that money and treat his family out to pizza. So he went ahead and covered for his whole family financially to provide a meal for his family.
That's awesome. And then it's a write-off for his business, too.
Yeah, right, because he's talking business, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. Rock on, Danny. That's sweet. So I'm wondering, Mark, is this only applicable for 5-year-olds who own their own business, who can treat their family based on the income they're earning out to pizza, or is this for adults, maybe junior hires, or grade schoolers? I mean, can anybody do this, or is it just 5-year-olds?
Well, it's interesting, Kevin, because when people make a contribution to Life Masteries Institute, and so on the mastermind seminars, like there's no cost to this. This thing's worth hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, whatever somebody takes from it. They can do a pay it forward. And so there's kids at risk. So in addition to earning money, Danny is also raising money to help single moms, kids at risk, rescuing girls out of being trafficked, and a whole bunch of other amazing causes. And so it is true for everyone, Kevin, but business people, community-based leaders have to learn to think in a very different way, and that's the magic. How do we learn to think in a different way than we are now? I think that's the hard part.
Right. So how do we think in a different way, Mark?
Well, Danny's also a co-author of a book with Alan Stein and then Zaire and Abigail.
Right. Is that how to be the best student
in the world and everything?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot that we can learn from young children. And Tibbs is doing some amazing things in education and blending education and business together. And so I think if business people were to learn to think bigger, think more global, and how they can impact their community and how they can partner with other people, the networking opportunities that they could have. I mean, like maybe we'll get into it in the last segment, Kevin, but Mastermind Seminars is going worldwide now. So in August, there's an event in Louisiana. There's an event looking at November in Boston, in January in Hawaii, in March in Reno, in June in Israel, I believe. And then next is going to be China, and then next is going to be Africa. And so people that are listening to this, you can participate in the live event for sure, the virtual event, this event, but what if you were to bring one of these to your own local community? What if you had 20 or 30 or 100 or 500 people that participated in this? What would that do for your business? That would be pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Wow. Any other thoughts, Mark, that you want to share from the Speed Networking?
No, I don't want to go ahead and cut into segment 2. I can't wait for wins and biggest challenges. There's so many things that are happening in and throughout all the various networks, the legacy partners, the Coffee Connection, the Mastermind Seminars. I mean, all of the different networks and how they're coming together and accomplishing so much more. So I don't want to cut into that segment because there's so much that we can learn from what other people are doing.
Excellent. Mark, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that. And
Danny, my pleasure.
Thumbs up, brother. You rock. Love ya. Keep it going. So our next segment for Wins and Biggest Challenges is with Jennifer. Jennifer is doing some amazing things, as Mark just said, on bringing education and business together. One of the crazy things that happens in education and in business is that the systems just don't support what they're doing, or they don't have the right kind of systems. And in order to have the right systems, it's order to have the vision in order to have the right systems in the first place. So, Jennifer, I'd like you to share with us some wins and biggest challenges, and maybe you could share with us a little bit about the video that we just recently saw.
All right. Well, I am blessed with the fact that I get to work with Nicole here at Tanglewood, and she is doing her journey to big picture, and it's a 30-day journey, and she is reflecting on events from the day and disciplines herself to take what she has physically saw or heard and look at all the potential that event could have. So Nicole is a deep analytic, so this is really challenging for her, and so her big win that she's had this week is that she thinks she's approaching that 10,000-foot view. And where she's finding her biggest challenge is how to jump from that 10,000 to 30,000 feet view, and how she can apply this new vision to generating larger quantities of referrals for Tanglewood.
Great. That's great. Would you like to elaborate a little more on that?
Well, I think in watching Nicole go through this journey, I've seen her change a lot because she is so analytic about everything. And with her working with the other people in the company, in learning to change your personality to try to be something else, she's trying to go from an analytic to a driver personality. And seeing that that's able to be done is something that is really helpful for myself and other people in the company as well.
Why would it be helpful if you're an analytic to start working toward being more of a driver? And by the way, in the next segment, when we get into the DNA for people, you're going to see the different personalities if this is your first time. But for our time right now, tell us, why do you think, Jennifer, that it's important for an analytic to move to a driver? Why is that important?
Because analytics often get stuck in the details and have to map everything out to a T. And if they can find a way to pick some of those things and just drive them forward, they can accomplish more a lot quickly. And if they kill things quicker, then they can help benefit their company more.
Wow. So anybody can do this? Anybody can move from an analytic? I mean, who would be another example of an analytic? Like, I don't know, CPAs?
Yeah.
Or people like that? What would your message be for anybody who's kind of you know, in love with the details and wants to get everything right? It's kind of like all or nothing. It's like you got to make sure that everything, you cross your T's and dot your I's, and which is a good thing, but when that's the only thing you're doing, you're not accomplishing anything. What's your message to people that are analytics, and how to help them move from being the analytic to more of a driver? What's the benefit for them, how they can make money?
I think the best thing that they can do is partner with someone who is a driver, learn all they can from that person so that they can take what they already know and refine it through systems to kill things quicker.
Usually drivers move faster than analytics. So how does an analytic partner with a driver and not shut down in the process?
Wow, that's a really good question. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think one of the things that an analytic can do is humble themselves, like any personality. But to humble themselves to say, maybe I don't have all the answers. Maybe I don't have to go through, 500 different, formulas in order to come to the answer. Maybe there's a simpler way. And if I found someone that could have done it faster, maybe I don't want to do it faster, but I do want to get it accomplished. I think it's a lot about humility. And to say, you know what, I'm going to humble myself to somebody who obviously has the fruit on the tree, so to speak, has the business, has the business that I want to have, or a model that I would like to follow. I think it's a tremendous amount of humility. Your thoughts?
No, I would definitely agree. And in observing Nicole and what she does, she is paired herself, I think, with what I've met as probably the master of drivers, Mark, and he drives her forward to change and to grow through this process. So I think that's definitely something that we can all learn from.
Mark, if you're still on the call, my question to you is, what are some of the things that you've noticed and how you've been able to help Nicole, who's an analytic, move to a driver? What are some of the things that you found that were helpful?
Well, I think, I met Nicole's 21, and I met her when she was 19. And my experience is as we get older or we get more educated, or we get more experience, we tend to become, let's say, less pliable. Like, how is Danny able to accomplish something that adults are not able to accomplish? He's fearless. He's like, okay, get on the phone. I'm going to talk to people. Like, he's just fearless, and younger kids. And so I think with Nicole, I haven't figured out her secret, but she's more teachable, I believe, now at 21 than she was at 19. And she's hungry. Like, she sees things about herself and other people that very few people see. She's willing to be challenged. She doesn't get defensive. Like at all. She's very open to being challenged or criticized or pushed. She's just got this, amazing heart. So it's so easy. It's not even hard work. It's fun. It's fun to play with her and to see the growth and to see the impact that she's making on other people's lives.
So, Mark, did she have that hunger when you met her at 19, or did she learn it from her journey from 19 to 20 to 21?
She had some of it, without question. Without question, she had some of it, but
really had it.
Well, it's accelerating now. Like, it's getting more and higher, which is unusual. Normally it goes like the infamous, I think every business owner ought to watch the movie Ratatouille, because our clients, our prospects, our partners, like everybody in business, everybody in life, like everybody's cynical. Like everybody's like, you can't have a life-changing moment right here, right now. That's too much. Like, you can't go ahead and change your business. Like, I've been to these type of seminars. You haven't. You've never been to something like this before. And so I think that she has a childlike heart, and it's becoming even more childlike in the last 3 years I've known her. And I think that's a choice that she's making. I think as we get older, more educated, more experienced, I think there's more of a gravitational pull to say, I've got it figured out, I know, and she doesn't have that attitude. It's amazing working with her.
How do you get to that point as a 21-year-old? What do you think it was?
Well, if you're an architect, listening to this segment, and you have an opportunity to talk to Nicole, she'll blow your mind, and she'll help you solve problems in your architectural practice that nobody's been able to solve. Like, you almost think it's probably unsolvable. She will help you be able to do it. And so I think, Kevin, it's talking to Nicole.
Excellent. And we can make that information available if you want to text. If you're an architect or if you're someone else that wants to know what Nicole has done in order to help transform your business, I want you to text 630-386-5306. Again, 630-386-5306. We will connect you with Nicole, and it truly will help you out. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Jennifer, thank you so much for Wins and Biggest Challenges. We're going to move to our next segment, and this is part of our BOS segment. Again, the Business Operating System. Cheryl Nagoff, she works at Tanglewood Conservatories, and I know that last month one of the things you were saying, Cheryl, is that you had some openings available in your company. Do you still have those openings available, or can people still apply to you that are interested in being part of one of the world-class teams in the entire world?
We actually still have those positions available, plus we have a project manager position open. So anybody who's interested can go to www.tanglewoodconservatories.com/careers and apply anytime.
Excellent. Appreciate it. Well, Cheryl, go ahead and share with us today how we can generate massive referrals through the DNA for People.
So why do you want referrals? Better yet, why do you want a large quantity of them? I'll have that answer for you at the end of my presentation. But there's another question that I have for you that I can't answer, only you can answer. Do you know what your own personality is? This is important, first step to know before you get acquainted with your customer, to be able to ask them for referrals. I'll quickly explain the 4 different types to help you if you don't already know. Do you like the shape of a cube? Are you into the details? Need a plan of action? Like the plan to have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed? Things that are out of order cause you the most pain. Then you're an analytic. You will gain referrals when talking to an analytic by letting them know that things make sense to you and that you have a plan in place to reach out to the referrals. Do you like the shape of a pyramid? Do you typically have a well-oiled plan in place so you can move along fast? Are you able to see the big picture? Things moving at a glacial pace cause you the most pain. Then you would be a driver. You will gain referrals from the driver by letting them know you have a goal and purpose for the referrals, and you will move swiftly. Do you like wavy lines? Do you like to have lots of fun even if you don't get your work done? Can you joke and talk to people with ease? Things being boring and not exciting cause you the most pain. Then you're an expressive. You will gain referrals from an expressive when you have a lot of energy when asking questions and you have fun and make the experience fun for them. Do you like round objects? Do you like everything to run smoothly? Bringing people together is what comes naturally to you. Having conflict with others causes you the most pain. Then you are an amiable. You will gain referrals from the amiable by letting them know you are bringing them together to form a relationship that is full of harmony. So now that you have figured out what your personality is, hopefully, you can do the same with your new customer. Why do you want to do that? The faster you can relate to them, the faster you build rapport, the faster they will open up to you. But in order to accomplish this, you must be an active listener. Being able to hear what is said will give you a deeper insight into how they tick, which raises their level of trust that you are taking care of them. If you take care of them using the warm belly rub, then they will have that warm fuzzy feeling that will take care of those they refer to you. Notice I said Notice I didn't say may refer, but said will refer to you because you have put the effort in. You still have a question as to what each personality type can bring to the table with regards to referrals? An analytic referring others will give those that refer a sense of that you are credible. Why? Because you have convinced them that you have listened and you have heard the details of how to get things done and have let them know this. The driver will give referrals because you have made them feel that you have figured out how to make things happen right away, that you have the big picture and you will relay that to those that they refer. The expressive will want to give you referrals and will let everyone let everything know that because you have made the expressive fun for them. They love working with people and their energy attracts other people. The amiable type has a lot of contacts because they care for people. To get referrals from them, all you have to do is show them that you won't cause any conflict with them and show them that you care. If I haven't made myself clear, here's an idea you can use with your existing customers' personalities. Ask them to write a testimony about your company. See if you can get from each of the different personalities. Why, you may ask? Let your customer do the work for you. How, you may ask? If you have an analytic testimony and you share it with another analytic, it is like they're talking to each other in the same language. What was your workload? I think you can answer that, meaning you had none because your customers did it for you. Another point of doing this is that you have free advertising from getting that testimony. Also, these testimonies bring credibility to your customer in a way that they understand that further builds a relationship. Pretty clever, huh? Gaining your customers' trust can open many doors for you. Let them know you will refer them to others in your database. Might be a good idea to have a couple with you so that you can trade your referrals. This is a concept of cross-selling both of your companies. Take a step further and explain how you can each bring value to one another. As your trust builds, so does your network. Once you have success in getting those referrals, box 7, feed them back into your repertoire, box 12 of the 530 grid. Find a system that works for you and keep using it. Why reinvent the wheel every time? I asked the question at the beginning, why do you want a large quantity of referrals? It means less work for you. Why? Your referral partner already has a relationship with the referral, which has laid the groundwork for you, so you don't have to figure out how to get your foot in the door. Or even bigger, what door do I even know which to knock on? How much easier is it to drop a name than to have to cold call someone? If you use your knowledge of the personalities to build a trusting relationship with your customers, you will have more free time to follow your passions and to live your life vision. The choice is yours. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question, Cheryl. This is Kevin.
Go ahead.
I'm wondering how I can make money. I appreciate what you said. Tell me how it is I can make money with the DNA for people and how that applies to generating massive referrals. How can I make money today?
You can make money today by reaching out to a customer and asking them for a referral. Half the work is already done for you because the relationship is already partly built for you. So that's the hardest part, in my opinion, is building the relationship at the very beginning. So if you already have that first step, it should be a lot easier for you to turn that customer into, making a sale.
So I would just go back to my database for everybody that I have a relationship with and reach out to them.
Exactly. It doesn't hurt to ask everyone for at least 2 referrals. Worst they can do is say no.
Wow. I appreciate that. Cheryl, thank you so much for your segment. I appreciate that. It was great insights. And like I said, for everybody that's watching this, this is gold. This is going to help you transform your business into something that's really spectacular. The next segment we have in the BOS system, the business operating system, is the 530 grid. And if you're online with us at mastermind-seminars.org, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a yellow banner that says fourfold. Click on that, and when you click on that, it's going to pull up the roadmap to what we're doing today. So we just had box 10 on your fourfold, which is the DNA for people, and you could see how people, the different shapes, the analytic, the driver, the expressive, and the amiable, and they're the things that cause them the most frustration. That's in box 10. And if you're following along, if you're not, you can jump on now, mastermind-seminars.org, and you can go into box 11, and it's going to show you the 530 grid. And I'm excited to have Rosanna Boersma, who's going to be coming on and sharing the 530 grid and how that generates massive referrals to us. Rosanna has a awesome women's group, and Rosanna, maybe you can tell us a little bit about that group and then go right into generating massive leads through the 530 grid.
Thank you, Kevin. So the Awesome Women's Group is held on Mondays at 11:30 Central Time. It is for women. We do have special speakers, including men, that get on the call to encourage women in the business world and trying to combine efforts that they're doing within their workplace and at home and to make things more efficient. And so I welcome anyone that would like to join that. It's only 30 minutes, and it is recorded. So if you're unable to attend at that time, you can also get a recording of that. If you have questions, feel free to touch base with me on that. What we're talking about today is the DNA for business and how we want to generate a large quantity of referrals. And last month was convert prospects faster. And so now what? We have the prospects who are now becoming our clients. Now what do we do with that? So we have already made the sale and we have a client. So we're moving into something what we call the servicing, which is area 4, which is making sure that our client is happy, making sure that they're getting what they need, making sure that we know them very well, and using Cheryl's idea of the personalities and understanding our clients in the best way will help us to go ahead and to accomplish that goal. If you're listening to your client and what they want and how they're, what they're happy with, you can use that to ask them for referrals. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals. Have the energy of a 5-year-old. They don't stop. They come back. When you don't ask it, you don't get the answer the way they want it, they ask it a different way. They are relentless. And as long as your client is very happy with you, it doesn't hurt to be relentless. What do you do with once the information is come to you and you have the referrals? What do you have to do with that? Well, you go back to the marketing in area 1 where you identify those targets and you go out and deliver a message to those particular referrals. If they're calling you and asking you for your business, that is the best because you don't have to call them. You already have an in. You've saved time. Why not ask your clients for referrals? I think that would just be, a waste of time to just go ahead and, try to get it yourself when you can go ahead and just ask your clients. I'm guessing every person that you know knows 3 to 5 other people that are making similar decisions that they just made themselves. And that's called the cluster principle, but sometimes you will hear in the DNA for Life natural laws. I would also encourage you to go ahead and understand that business people, they know a lot more than 3 to 5 other people. They have 500 people that they may know that may have, similar challenges in their business. And so it's always important to ask people for referrals. Once you get those referrals, you want to make sure you're putting them in a system and you're marketing that system, and so that you can catch and follow up on them. Do not let them drop. Those are the best type of things to get is the referrals because you've already got it. And if you don't do well with the referral, the client that referred them, they might not refer any more business to you. That might be a challenge. And so you do want to make sure you're following up on the clients that have been referred to you and don't let them fall. I would also say that you want to make sure that you're following your successes and getting back to people and making sure that they know the business and they know what you're doing, and to make sure that you're always checking with the client that you're working with to be continue to be good servicing, especially after they've referred something, because they could come back to the person they referred to and say, well, on second thought, you always want to make sure you're servicing your client very well so that you don't lose the referral that they just gave you. If you're having trouble asking for referrals, I would say get back to your inner child, as it was mentioned in a couple segments ago about Ratatouille. Get back to your inner child. Don't be fearful. What is it going to hurt? Like Cheryl said, the worst they can do is say no. And you have other clients, you can ask them for referrals, and you can come back and ask in a different way, or maybe wait a little longer for your client to be happier with what you're doing, and then you can come back and ask again. So the more referrals you get, the more clients you get, the more referrals you can get from those clients. So it can continue to be a nice, very healthy for you. let's see here. Servicing, yes, we talked about that, so I guess we got that. So I am understanding that the best way to get information from your clients is to make sure you're servicing them well. And the best way to go ahead and get referrals is to make sure you're servicing your clients, and then that you follow up on the referrals, and then you continue to go ahead and follow the system that you started out to get the first client. Always follow system. Stop whining, do the system, and you'll do great. Any questions?
Hey, Rosanna, so is this system that you're talking about, does this work for other things besides just, finding new business? I mean, would it work for something like, say, finding great team members to work in your company, like recruiting?
Yes, especially if your client has seen how your team members that you have are working together, and you say, that's a really great company to work for. If you're looking for a job, you might want to check out Tanglewood, or you might want to check out whoever else you're talking to. You might want to check them out. And it's especially important for the client to see how well your team members are working together and following up on you as a client.
Great, thank you.
So, Rosanna, what specific boxes in the 530 grid relate to generating a large quantity of referrals?
Well, box number 7 under area 4 servicing, the first box, it says ask for referrals. And then I say the next one that you would probably want to do is once you've asked for referrals, you want to make sure that you're tracking them. So I'd go back to box number 3 and make sure you're tracking them and you've got them done well and not dropped. I'd also make sure that when you're asking the referrals, you're asking the key questions of the new referrals, just like you did with the client that you worked with. And so you're just going back to the very beginning of how you got the client, but you have one step ahead of yourself because you've already got the foot in the door. Here that you're tracking it. So I go back to box number 3.
Great. Thanks, Rosanna.
I got a question, Rosanna. This is Kevin. Tell me about box 12 and how that can impact my business. I see it right here on the 530 grid. Feed successes into 1, 2, and 3. Can you elaborate on that for me?
Well, if you're making sure that you're always taking and tracking how well you did with the client and how they are happy with you, then you can go ahead and feed them back into identifying the targets, and you can go ahead and develop a message for that particular target. And then after that, you go ahead and you track those leads. So that's the 1, 2, and 3 as far as I understand. Now, maybe Mark has a better suggestion on that. I am not sure.
Mark, would you like to comment on that, or are we good?
Yeah, good question. Those are what Rosanna said was all true. You can also, what you're looking at doing is you're looking at taking, like when you find out why you're losing prospects, box 13, sales. So like I'm not converting them, they're saying no. You can go back into your servicing, find a customer that had a similar type of way of thinking, but overcame that way of thinking, capture that success, and then so you've captured the success based on data from 13, and then you're driving that testimony back up into your marketing message, which will generate more and better leads. You're then also taking it and driving that message up into your strategic strike, which will improve your pressure point analysis. So rather than closing 1 out of 10 leads, you could convert 2 out of 10 leads. So one strategic place testimony can go ahead and double your sales and increase your profit by 500%. It's frightening and exciting how just one little type of thing can do it. Presenting solutions and then also feeding that back in to your key referral partners. In addition to that, let's say you had 100 customers. based on the 80-20 rule. So when we look at the natural DNA for life, that'll be the next topic here. Based on the 80-20, 90-10 rule, 397, 3 out of the 100 will probably refer you 97% of your referrals. What if you took those 3, you captured those 3 through a media technology, and you were able to clone their thinking and then inject that thinking back into all your other customers? What if your other 97 customers learn to think like the 3 customers that referred you business? So it's an NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. So it's helping people to think in a different way and reprogramming their minds to think in a different way. When we do that with Box 12, Kevin, it brings magic to everything that we do.
Wow, thank you. That's outstanding. Rosanna, thank you. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for that in-depth analysis on the BOS system in terms of the 530 grid for the DNA for business and how that is going to help us generating massive. I hope people are taking notes. I hope you're listening closely. I hope you plan on listening to the rebroadcast. That's going to be really important for you to do, because we're going to get into our 2 segments from now. We're going to get into Q&A, and I want you to start formulating questions now about what you've heard. If it doesn't make sense, please say it doesn't make sense, or saying, how does whatever help me in my business? That's going to be really that's going to be really crucial. So thanks again, Rosanna. Thank you, Mark. And I'm so excited to have Alan Stein. He is the president of Tanglewood Conservatories. He has one of the most unique business models I've ever seen in my entire life. If you're even thinking about joining an organization, you have to come on board with Tanglewood Conservatories. Alan's going to be talking about the natural laws. It's the DNA of life. And he's going to help us understand how generating massive referrals tie into the natural laws. Alan, take it away.
Sure. So we're talking today about generating massive referrals. And, I got a question for everybody. What's better? Is it better to have more referrals or fewer referrals? So you could just write that down if you want. But so somebody at our company asked this question on a mastermind call this morning. They said, so is it always better to have like more and more referrals? And it's a great question. So if you have more higher quantity of referrals, that can easily overwhelm the systems that we have. So it's not always better to have more. First, you would think, well, generating massive referrals, the more we have, the better it is. But that's not always the case. If you dig a little bit deeper, too many can overwhelm. So maybe we don't want more and more and more. Maybe we want, I don't know what, maybe better quality. But that doesn't always work as well, because if you think about this a little bit differently, you can understand that, well, if I had great systems in place that could handle more quantity, then we could handle, and then more quantity would be better. So, you can think differently about things, and that's one of the fundamental natural laws. When we start to study, there are actually infinite number of natural laws. Natural laws are the way that the universe works. There are many of these that have been researched and cataloged, and Mark has got those on the website. We can look at those and learn a lot from them. Even better than that is discovering our own natural laws. When we see something that's really amazing, when we're great students, we can uncover things about the way that the world works, the way that people work, and we can actually understand something in a new way that maybe nobody else in the whole world has ever discovered before. So that's what we call thinking differently. So like Einstein said, you can never solve a problem on the level on which it was created. So what does that mean? So if you are creating the situation that you're struggling with, I mean, who else created it but you? So you've created it. What's the likelihood that you're going to be able to come up with a solution in the same way of thinking, which is normal way of thinking, that's going to solve the problem? So according to Einstein, not going to happen. So we need to learn to think differently. So what does that mean, to learn to think differently? So, you know, so I was asked to do this presentation, I don't know, about a week or so ago, and normally when I do talks like this, I spend some time preparing so that I can do a great job at presenting and bring value to people. And as we got closer and closer to this, to today, I realized I just got back from a trip to Italy, and I've got a ton of business stuff on my plate, and I really didn't have the time to invest to do a great job. And so I wrote to everybody and I said, gee, I'm going to have to wing it today. I just don't have the time to put into it. And the response I got back was, you know, that's great. But I have to tell you, you know, as I got closer and closer to today, I started thinking, well, you know, I'm not going to be able to bring much value if I'm just on the phone winging it. So I've got to do some preparation. So last night I sat down and I started to do some preparation work, and I wrote about it in my. I do a daily. I do a daily journal on my efforts to study natural laws, and I've been doing this for quite a few months now. Every night I take another natural law and I write about it, and I write about my experiences with trying to put it into practice. So I mentioned this, and I got this email back from Mark saying how disappointed he was in me. Why? Because I was going back to my old way of thinking, which is that I need to do preparation in order to do a good job. And I thought, okay, I'm going to leave everything that I was working on behind, and I'm just going to jump right into this. I'm going to really think differently. Now, you can imagine how uncomfortable that is for me. I'm an analytical person, and I like to have things all laid out and just so. So jumping in is not something that I would do normally, but I said, okay, we're going to practice thinking differently, which leads to acting differently and doing things differently. And so that's oftentimes a challenge, but that's often how you break through to what we call the next dimension. So the next dimension is another natural law, another principle that's really fundamental to successful living. So if I ask you the question, what's higher, a number 2 or number 8? So what would you say? Most people would say, well, obviously number 8 is higher than a number 2. And that's true in that one dimension. But what happens when you get up to a number 10? So if you're on a scale of 1 to 10, you get to 10. Is that really the end? Well, you know, just think about somebody who's, say, a high school sports player and, you know, starts out his junior year and he's playing, say he's on football team, and he gets up to senior years on the varsity. He might be the best player in that school. He's got to be level 10. But what happens the next year when he goes off to college? Is he still a number 10? No. So that's an example of of moving to another dimension. When you get to the top of the dimension that you're in, you start in another dimension. So a number 2 in that dimension, in a higher dimension, is higher than a higher number, an 8 or 9 or a 10 in a lower dimension. The dimensions never end. There's always higher dimensions. So as we grow, as we learn more, as we become more proficient, we are always jumping dimensions. And there's a science to jumping dimensions. and there's a science and there's a methodology to it, and there's an understanding of how to do that and how to do it effectively. It's really, really critical, because I think if you asked everybody, do they want to grow? Do they want to become better at what they do? Do they want to improve in really any areas of their life? Everybody would say yes. But how do you do that? What's the practical approach to doing that? So one of those is to study the natural laws, to understand the natural laws. Along with the other segments that we've talked about today, this is really critical. So, another really key natural law is the idea that there are no problems, there are only opportunities. So a lot of people might say, yeah, I kind of get that. But the understanding of that at a really deep level is revolutionary to the way that we think. And so when you start to put all these natural laws together, like thinking differently, next dimension, and you put that together with no problems, only opportunities, then you start to see it in a much, much different way. That's called a supernatural law. And that can lead you from ordinary understanding of natural laws to much higher levels, much higher dimensions, much higher frequencies of understanding how these natural laws work and how they work together and how they can help us in a really great way. So, anyone have any questions?
So, Alan, how can using the natural laws make us money with more referrals?
Good question. Do you think, Cheryl, that if you understand the way that people think, the way that people act, and the way that the world works, do you think if you understood that at a deeper level, do you think you would be able to make more money faster from referrals?
I see your point. My hesitancy is trying to figure out other people.
Yeah, other people, they're always the problem. Did you have an additional or a follow-up question, or anybody else have any questions?
Alan, this is Kevin. My question is, you said, yeah, the problem is always other people. Sometimes the problem is us. Sometimes we're not thinking correctly, and so how would we ourselves think in a higher dimension, in a better dimension than where we're at, that can help us generate that income?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So Kevin, what do you think, percentage-wise, if you had to say the amount of the problems that are other people versus ourselves, what do you think that percentage would be?
I would say it depends upon how humble you are. Because if I'm really arrogant, I could probably think that most of the issue, maybe 70 to 80% of the issue is other people. But maybe if I'm humble, maybe there's times when I'm not thinking correctly, that maybe I don't understand what they're thinking, and maybe I need to discipline myself better.
Yeah, so humble, that's an interesting concept. So it's like reality. So if you jump out of a building, you have the law of gravity and you're going to hit the ground. So, even if you don't believe in gravity. So, so you have reality. So the reality is whether I'm humble or I'm not humble, what percentage do you think in reality is, my problem versus other people's problem?
I'm going to say 60-40, 60% my problem, 40% them.
Yeah, see, that's interesting. See, I think it's 100% my problem. I think it's always 100% me. I think that if I'm going to be really responsible in my life, for my life, that means I'm 100% in, regardless of other people, what they do, what they think, how they respond. It's all me.
Right. Right. So how do you get to that point where you say it's 100% my problem, and how does that help you overcome challenges with other people?
I think it's like being humble.
In what way?
Well, you know, as you were saying before, it's understanding and it's seeing how the times when I thought that I was right, and oftentimes the more I think I'm right, or the stronger I think I'm right, are the times when I discover I'm not so right, and seeing the truth of that, and maybe being beat up in life over that, you know, maybe making mistakes and blaming others and going around and around and around in a circle until finally I see that, you know, if I repeat my same patterns over and over again, then I'm only going to get the same result. And I think Einstein might have said that also. And that I really don't know at a core level how to do things differently. I only know what I know. Maybe looking at that video, you know, the big versus small video.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And where can we find it? Do you know where that is? Or we'll get the information out to people on that.
Yeah, I think the MVP network can find that.
Okay, excellent. Okay, good, very good. I appreciate that. Alan, thank you so much. We certainly appreciate it. We have a couple of minutes here for Q&A. Anyone have a question on any one of the events, any one of the segments, the speed networking, wins and biggest challenges, personality mastery, 530 grid, natural laws, anything that people have a question on?
So in the DNA for life, how do the natural laws affect getting the right people to connect with? And how do I take responsibility for that, and how does that make me money today?
Good question. Alan, did you want to take that?
I'm sorry, I have to repeat the question.
How, in the DNA for Life section, how do the natural laws impact how I connect with people and how I can own that for myself and how I can make money for my business today?
Yeah, I think, isn't that the question that you asked, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, the same question that Kevin just asked. Isn't that amazing? So, do you remember what the answer was?
Do you want me to answer? Do you want, is it Jennifer?
Yeah, no, why don't you answer it, Kevin?
Well,
or give your thoughts.
100%. Yeah, if the problem is 100% me, then I have to be humble enough to say that in order to make money using the natural laws, that it's not about them, it's about me. And by making it about me, then it's not about them anymore. Is that double talk, or do you understand what I'm saying? As opposed to shifting blame in an issue with somebody else, and I say, I'm going to assume 100% of the responsibility on this because it's my issue. Suddenly, I'm not defensive anymore. Suddenly, I can see clearly. Suddenly, I'm able to help someone else. And in the process, that helps me help them and create massive value, which in turn would allow them a clear path to give me a referral so that I can help them and my business as well. Does that make sense or not so much?
It does, but it doesn't seem like an instant thing. It seems like a long-term thing. So.
But I think it's instant. I think it's instant, Jennifer. When you believe 100% that it's your responsibility right now, I see what Alan. I think I see, not 100%, but I think I see what Alan says. I'm not shifting blame onto somebody else, which naturally causes somebody else to be defensive, which closes them down and doesn't and makes them not want to do business with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's instant. So when I assume the responsibility, I also assume the responsibility for making it correct, making it right. And if they don't feel like I'm coming after them or blaming, people are very interesting on a subconscious level. They can sense when people.
So let's test it. Let's test it. So it's 100% totally mine. Okay, got it. Okay, I'm waiting. It's 100% me. I'm waiting. Okay, I've taken ownership. I'm waiting. When is it going to hit me, Alan and Kevin? When is? It is mine. It is mine. It's mine. I get it. It's mine.
Uh-huh.
So when is that going to hit? When is that going to kick? Because it's 100% me, but I don't know what to do. Shouldn't I be doing something?
Maybe you only think it's 100%. Maybe it's not really.
Okay. I still don't know what to do, though.
Right. So if I'm owning it 100%, it's 100% my responsibility. What if?
So if you just let them go ahead, let them struggle with it, probably. So I got it. It's 100%. I don't know what to do, Kevin and Alan.
So what do you think you should do, Mark?
Well, I need something concrete. If I've owned something, I need something concrete.
Great question.
And so,
any suggestions?
Well, that's where the 500 natural laws come in.
Oh, I love it.
So Jennifer is in pre-sales, sales, so working both of those areas. So Jennifer, it's the foundation of all natural laws. If you don't know which one applies, always go back to examination, solution, and implementation.
Mm-hmm.
So a doctor's never going to give never going to give a prescription without doing an examination. It's called medical malpractice. So if we're ever giving somebody a solution, box 8, without doing an examination, it's malpractice. We're selling them something. We're not trying to solve a problem. We're trying to give them something that we think is going to be beneficial, and we don't even know what their problem is. So the chances of us bringing value without asking questions is next to none. Solutions are not just products and services. It's participation in this event. This is a solution. Come to this event. Why? What am I going to gain of value? Talk to me on the phone. Why? What am I going to gain of value? Doing a presentation. So we have to do examination, solution, implementation. If you do that today, Jennifer,
Mm-hmm.
that will change all the results that you're getting. Does that help concrete-wise, specific, or not so much yet?
A little more. It was yes.
Okay. Cool.
I have another question. How does the BOSS system as a whole relate to generate a lot of quality of referrals, and how does that help Tanglewood or any other company make more money?
Well, we figured out yesterday on a mastermind call that one referral can save you 65 hours of work.
I can see that.
And so if you're saving 65 hours of work, that gives you more time for more marketing, more pre-sales, more sales. And so if you're taking, like if we really listen deeply to what Rosanna was sharing and then go ahead and say, are we doing what was taught today? Are we tracking why we lose all our prospects? Are we then creating testimonies? And then are we feeding that back into box 2, box 5, box 8, and box 7? Are we driving all of this through? There's so much that we learned today. It's like drinking out of a fire hose. So that's where we pick up, next month in being able to look at the topics. And so, Kevin, I think you're going to wrap it up here.
Yes, I am. I appreciate that. Great questions. So this month, again, it was generating massive referrals, generating a large quantity of referrals. Once we're able to do that, once we're saving ourselves time and money, then we have time to do what? Create client-for-life relationships. Creating client-for-life relationships is part of the 530 grid. It's absolutely vital that we get this. Why? Because in client-for-life relationships, we understand that it's not just the marketing, pre-sales, sales, and servicing. It's not just referrals. It's a client for life where they are now partners with what we do. They are partners in our business, and we are partners in their business. More than silent partners, maybe we could say, because now people really feel like there's a reason more than just making money that they exist. Maybe there's something that we can do together, that we can achieve together, that we couldn't achieve on our own. And maybe if we could do that with enough people in a client-for-life relationship, we can start changing major issues, education. Maybe we can change business. Maybe we can change so much more. And together, truly, everyone can achieve more if we can buy into that idea of a client-for-life relationship. So thank you so much for coming on to the program today. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate your time. Again, if you have any questions, you can still text them to 630-386-5306. We'll get them to the appropriate people. Again, the information is available on mastermind-seminars.org. And we'd also like to let you know that there's amazing free resources that are out there. If you go to DNAforlife-laws.com, again, DNAforlife-laws.com, you can go to cool free stuff, and you can see so many things, white papers, you can see video libraries, you can see the workbook library, and it truly is going to be a life-changing experience for you. And then if you also want to go into more of the DNA for people, go to personalitymasteries.com. Again, personalitymasteries.com. It's been a pleasure having you today. We look forward to seeing you next month. Remember, it's every third Thursday of every single month, without end. We're in year 4. We're going to go into the next topic in the third Thursday. And again, that's going to start at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Again, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So set your time zones accordingly. We look forward to seeing you next month. And remember, bring people with you, invite people with you. We're going to have a trailer video that's going to be coming out. So we want you to be aware of that. And truly, everyone can achieve more together. Thanks again. Have a great day. God bless.
Okay, we're going to do it.
Wow. So what did you think? Did you feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose? A lot of information in a very short period of time. We get it. Don't worry if you don't pick it all up the first time, because each month you'll come back, you'll pick up more and more each and every month. The more we pick up and apply, the more money we'll earn as a result of attending this event, and the more time we'll have, the less stress we'll have, and the greater life balance we'll have in every area of life we value. Often people ask, what's next? Great question. Did you register yet that you attended? If not, do that immediately at www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. And we will assist you in having strong follow-through with what you learn. There are some amazing follow-up resources that we will get over. There is no charge for any of these resources. Okay, so you've registered. Now what? If you haven't already done your complimentary 30-minute gift coaching session, then that is the place to start. Go to www.dnaforsuccess.com. Go to the top drop-down, examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Click on that. It will literally take you 3 minutes to complete that, and then someone from Legacy Partners and Mastermind Seminars will call you and give you your 30-minute strategy session. Again, there's no cost. It's a gift from every one of us to you. Go into that 30-minute strategy session expecting that your business and life will be changed forever, because it has so for so many people. Again, go to www.dnaforsuccess.com, go to the top drop-down examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Once you complete that, there are so many different possible solutions to assist you in overcoming the biggest challenge you're currently facing, and how to help you develop your very own BOS, the engine which runs your business. There are weekly live mastermind calls, coffee connections you can attend at no cost. There are online courses, group coaching, media solutions, and even one-on-one coaching which can be provided to you depending on your specific needs and overall goals. Please do not leave today without committing to meeting with at least 2 other people, either over coffee or over the phone, at a minimum once a week, to follow through on all the amazing information, ideas, tools, systems, and great people, both locally and then around the world, through Mastermind Seminars and Legacy Partners. One side note, because there is no charge to attend, participate, and gain massive benefit from Mastermind Seminars, individuals often wonder, how do these amazing events are funded? Well, they are actually funded by generous individuals just like you who give financially weekly through Coffee Connection contributions or monthly through Mastermind Seminars. Your generous contribution to Life Masteries Institute, which is an IRS-approved 501c3 nonprofit organization, not only enables the events, tools, and networks to be developed and given to you and others, but also a portion of your gift goes to many great causes. When we give generously in a financial way, we gain financially as well. No gift is too small. Even giving $5 a week or even a month will make a big difference. To give, go to www.mastermind-seminars.org/pay-it-forward. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/pay-it-forward. Here is what others have found. In just getting started with my company, I didn't feel I could give anything. Even $5 a month was a sacrifice. I decided to do that, and as soon as I started to give financially, I became more focused on turning what I was learning into financial gain for me personally, and it worked. I'm now contributing a little more and will continue to increase my giving as my business and income grows. Adam, a new entrepreneur. We have given over $45,000 because we know it's the right thing to do. Yes, we do give of our personal and company resources, time and talents, but we also know how important it is to give financially as well. We have found that when we give financially, we become more focused on turning our involvement into sales and financial success. It seems that those who do not give financially, they often do not gain financial benefit. The entire Mastermind Seminar experience has done more for building a successful culture through our entire company than hundreds of thousands of dollars in consultants, seminars, and workshops. We've accomplished more in a couple of years than the 20-plus years prior. Any individual, any company, any organization which does buy in and get their entire company involved is, how do I best say it, missing out on a chance of a lifetime. Alan Stein and Nancy Virts, owners, www.tanglewoodconservatories.com. I give financially weekly, and my business has more than doubled. Ginger Ann Collins, owner EVA, Executive Virtual Assistant, and Executive Coach. www.dnaforsuccess.com/implementation/E-VAS. The more I give financially, the more I receive financially. Ann Wayman, Dream Giver, Ghostwriter, www.annwayman.com. I was looking for additional income streams, and by giving financially, it's opened so many doors for me. So many opportunities become available when we are financially generous. Ed Noel, mortgage professional, owner, leadership, and team building coach. It was really tough for us to give anything, as we had invested so much into our business. But we decided to start out with $25 a month. We didn't think of it as a very big gift, but the truth is, it was a lot for us when we started. And the doors that financial gift has opened for us are huge. We will be giving a portion of what we generate in our business back to Life Masteries Institute and pay it forward to help others around the world gain financial freedom. Steve and Avalinda Casey, owner, real estate investing, speaker, and author. Being a part of mastermind seminars over the last 3 years has changed the way I think about every area of life. When we give financially, we not only support what is given to us, but we assist others in our community and around the world. Be generous. Kevin King, helping people save money on health insurance. My business has benefited so much from the mastermind seminars and coffee connections. It's the right thing to give back weekly financially. Jonathan Sparrow, owner, web technology, www.themvpnetwork.org. If you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas from today, please connect with the individual who invited you to attend or your MC, host, or you can even call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300, or the U.S. base number is 630-393-9909. That's 630-393-9909. Always remember, we can accomplish far more together than we ever could on our own. So think of 3 other individuals you believe would benefit from what we shared and invite them to your mastermind conference call, coffee connection, and next month's mastermind seminar event. Have an amazing day and life.